So today we're at the Cohen River Marina and I'm going to do some work on my main ship 34. We're going to do the proper installation of a prop. So here we are underneath the main ship 34 with Mike, marine mechanic. So Mike, tell me a little bit about yourself. How long you been messing around with boats?
Since I was 16. Well, what we're doing is we're going to lap it. So you take valve grinding compound, which is typically for working on engines, smear it all in good, and you're going to turn the prop and spin it. And what it's doing is it's going to, a very, very small amount of metal, it's going to sand down so that you've got a perfect snug fit when you're finished. And the reasoning for that is if the prop is on here and it's only partially tight to the shaft, it'll put more pressure on this keyway. And if you hit something and it slams this keyway one direction or the other, it can actually split and put a crack in your shaft and cause vibrations. There's lots of things that it can cause. So you want this to be, you want at least 80 to 90% of this prop touching this shaft here. So what you do is you put the valve grinding compound on and you spin the prop, and they sand and lap themselves and face themselves together and make a perfect tight fit.
So we're all set.
All right. Whoa. You just smear it on there good. You get a lot of waste, but it's all right. And there's no tools involved.
Like 4 or 5 times to get it?
I've gone through 3 bottles or 3 tubes of this compound in about an hour of spinning to get it to where I want it. If they get too bad, you can send the prop off and have it refaced, or you just replace the prop. You see, like I'm already getting a quarter turn for every rotation of the prop. So we're good and snug. So let's give it a few spins before we tighten again.
And how much does a new shaft cost? Just a ballpark figure, if you can find one.
If you can find one, I mean, depending on the size, they're going to start at a couple thousand.
Now you can see right off the bat, he hadn't even cleaned it, the difference between the first application of it.
There we go. Now we're getting somewhere. You can see all the metal in the compound where it's turned it gold looking. That's the brass that's shaving off. You know, we're only taking off maybe a thousandth of an inch or two, a couple thousandths, but it makes a big difference. Now you can see the back of that prop. We're getting shiny all throughout.
Yep.
So I think we're going to
Stop it right there.
I think I'm going to do one more.
Okay, tell me about the discoloration that I notice on this.
Okay, your shaft is turning pink here. That's from the electrolysis in the water eating the metal here. And you can see where it's been eating up to the front, eating to the back, which is where the water's got in and made contact. And it also shows you where your prop has not been hitting all the way throughout.
Okay, we're starting our 3rd application.
All right, and I think this will be the final application we need to do. So what I like to do is put a little on the front side of the nut, because the nuts, it's best when they're faced to the prop, so that you get a nice same principle as doing the prop. So you get them faced to each other so that they're as tight as they can be all the way around. Nice and smooth. You can see the pink where the electrolysis has been attacking that. But now that prop is perfectly smooth to mate up with that nut.
So after 3 times, you can see the difference on the inside of the prop, how the compound has actually worked it down. How to properly install.
This is the keyway, and what I'm doing now is making sure that it slides freely through the prop and through the shaft, because if it binds up, what that'll do is that'll give you a false sense of it being tight to the shaft, when in reality it's binding down on the keyway and stopping the prop from moving forwards. So you want to make sure all that moves in the right location and with no resistance.
And of course,
you want it snug, but you want it to be able to move.
To install that keyway the proper way, so the round edge is facing down on the shaft.
Right, if you look at the shaft, there is a roll that will slide up to.
Perfect.
All right. Now, this should slide right on up. Perfectly.
And of course, you can see that when he installed the prop, there's none of the keyway is pushing outside of the prop.
All right, let's go ahead and tighten her down. What I'm gonna do is wedge between the boat and the blade here. Tighten, and then we'll turn it to a different blade. We definitely don't want it coming loose. Make sure everything stays good and tight. All right. And as far as tightening it down, that's it. It is done.
Now I know for a fact, when I put this prop back on last week, the large nut back here was almost tight with the safety pin, or the cotter pin that goes in there.
When we moved forward close to 1/4 of an inch.
So
between 1/8 and 1/4 of an inch.
That is a considerable amount from how I did it, which was the improper way, and how Mike just installed it. That's a big difference. Mike is going to demonstrate on why you lap it.
So this prop, nothing's been touched on this. We were just looking at it, discussing why to lap. Now that prop is not tight, and that hit you here is the keyway locking in each direction. So this prop is pretty much riding on that keyway, so every time he's going forward, reverse, that's moving. So just the weight of this thing running forward and reverse eventually will cut that keyway in half, or snap a shaft. Something's going to give and break if this isn't taken care of. But this is why you lap your prop, so it's on there tight, and that's your results there.
Well, thank you, Mike.